Hi guys, welcome back to Beautifully Bookish Bethany, where I have new videos every week about books and the geeky mom lifestyle. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my June TBR. I cannot believe how quickly this year is starting to go. It's already about to be summer, we're headed into June, and I've got a lot of books to read for this month. I've got kind of an ambitious TBR, I guess, quite a few reading plans. So first up are the picks for my Patreon book club. Every month my patrons get to vote on a book that we're gonna read together and discuss. Every month we have a different theme, and for June the theme is middle grade fantasy. So we have a middle grade fantasy pick that I'm very excited to read, and then as a carryover from May, we're also going to be reading the last 2/3 of 1Q84. We read the first third of this, or the first book is divided into 3 books, so read the first third of it in May, and we're going to read the rest of it in June, as well as our middle grade fantasy pick, which I'm really excited for because I have heard amazing things about this entire series. This is Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. There are a ton of books in this series right now, and like I said, I've just heard so many good things about it. It follows a 12-year-old girl who is secretly a telepath, and she doesn't feel like she ever fits in, and then she meets a boy who also is a telepath and finds out that there's another world where maybe she would fit in, but it's dangerous, and yeah, so this just sounds wonderful. I'm really excited to pick this one up. Huge thanks as always to all of my patrons, and a special shout out to all of my patrons at the new release hardcover level and above, currently including Trina from Bookish Trina, Sydney from Sydney Stories, Ashley from Books with Ashley on Instagram, Jillian from Jillian's Book Chatter, Lori from Lori's Book Trials, Jessie from The Tiny Tea Set, and Maggie from Stormy Reads a Lot on Instagram. Thank you so much to all of you for your support. It means the world to me. Every month my patrons also get entered into a raffle, and the winner gets to select a book that they want to see me read and review in the coming month. And so for June, the winner was Maggie, and the book that they selected that they want to see me read and review is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. So this has been on my TBR for a long time. I have a used copy of it. I'm probably actually going to try to get my hands on the audiobook because this is so long, and I've heard the audiobook is really good. A lot of you guys commented. I recently put up this video talking about all the longest books on my TBR. I'll link that up above if you haven't seen it yet. But a lot of you guys commented about Outlander, saying that you loved it, saying the audiobook was really great, or saying a variety of things. I mean, like, oh, you really should read it. So it is happening in June. I will be reading Outlander, and I will let you guys know what I think. It should be very interesting. Then the other official reading plans that I have are in an announcement video that I put up recently, where I am doing a Twilight read-along. Again, I will put that announcement video up above if you're interested in checking it out, but we're basically going to be reading 2 books each month in June and July, and then reading the new Midnight Sun in August. I only currently have one of these, the other one is on its way to me, but for June we're going to be reading Twilight in the first half of the month, and then in the second half of the month we will be reading New Moon. Like I said, I did link that video up above, so if you're interested in joining in, feel free to check that out there. There will be live shows, there's a Discord server that people can join to chat about the books. It's gonna be an interesting time. In June, I also have a book that was sent to me for review from an indie author. They had reached out to me asking if I would be interested, and this sounded very much up my alley, so I'm excited to try this. It's called Who's There? A Collection of Stories by Dimas Rio. And what's really interesting about this is it's a collection of short stories that are inspired by urban legends and folk tales of Indonesia. And the author is actually Indonesian. They live in Indonesia. That just sounded really interesting to me. The early reviews of this looked really good, and it sounded like the kind of horror that I would be into. So I will let you guys know what I think. I kind of like the idea too of reading horror from a different culture. So excited to pick that one up. Thanks to the author for sending over a copy. Then in June, I am also hoping to read The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I am so excited about this and so happy to have this. Huge thanks goes out to one of my viewers and patrons, Vi Kathy, who very, very kindly contributed to my coffee fund and was like, buy a book and tell me what it is. And so this is what I picked, and I'm really, really excited about it. I think it's gonna be a good time. It's comedy and horror kind of mixed together, and I've been interested in trying something from this author for a while because I think he does just interesting things. This book is set in the 1980s, and it follows a group of middle-aged Southern women who have a book club. And then a new neighbor moves in and joins their book club, and he's like good looking and seems nice, but then there start to be some weird things going on and things get darker and darker. And obviously this does have vampires in it. I'm excited to give it a try. I think it's going to be interesting. Then I was hoping to get to my e-arc of this in May. It didn't happen, but I have an early physical copy as my book of the month club pick. So I am planning on reading The Boyfriend Project by Farah Rochon. I'm excited about this and I've heard some really good things about it. It's about 3 women who find out that they've been catfished by the same guy that they were dating like a jerk, and they kind of basically take steps to keep that from happening. So it's part romance, part like girl friendship. It sounds like it's going to be a good time, and the cover is really cute. And if you guys are at all interested in getting a copy, I am a Book of the Month Club affiliate and my link is always down below, along with a code. I think for May it's May 5, and then there will be a new code starting in June that will give you a discount on your first box. It's usually $15 a month and you have 5 choices you can select from, but if you don't like any of them, you can skip the month, which is kind of cool. I've been with them for about a year now and I like it. So yeah, Boyfriend Project by Farah Rochon. And then I have a bunch of ARCs that I really need to read. What is wild about this is I have a shelf, the bottom shelf here, that used to have stacks of ARCs, future ARCs, that I needed to read because I had so many from BookCon and Book Expo last year, from New York City Comic Con, and the ARCs that I am about to show you are the last of them, which is wild. To be fair, I do still have ARCs, or advanced reader copies of books that I have not yet read, but they're ones that are already published. This is the last of the not yet published ones. So first up we have 6 Angry Girls by Adrienne Kistner. This was originally set to come out in June, but it looks like it's been pushed back to August, as many things have been, but this sounded like a lot of fun. It's a contemporary YA book about a group of girls fighting the patriarchy and knitting and doing a mock trial of some sort. And yeah, I love the cover. I think the art looks really cool. This definitely looks like something that would be up my alley. Then for another June release that was pushed back to August, but I really am excited to read it, we have Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. This is the follow-up to Gideon the Ninth, which was one of my favorite books last year. And so this month, hopefully, I can get around to reading the sequel. And it is from the point of view of Harrowhark, and I'm super excited for it. Then coming out on June 23rd, I have a middle grade book that I'm really excited for. This is called Conquest by Sam Maggs, and this sounds really fun. It follows a pair of twins who are at their first fandom convention, and there's some kind of a quest where if you win, you get to meet your favorite celebrity. And so it's them ditching their older sister to try to win this quest so they can meet some celebrity. This sounds very much up my alley. I love this sort of thing. I haven't read it in a middle grade story before though, so I think it'll be a really good time. So definitely planning on reading that one in June. For another one that has been pushed back to August that was originally supposed to be a June release, we have All Eyes on Her by L.E. Flynn. So this one is a YA thriller and it just sounds really, really interesting. I'm actually going to read you the description of it because it sounds so intriguing to me. You heard the story on the news. A girl and a boy went into the woods. The girl carried a picnic basket. The boy wore bright yellow running shoes. The girl found her way out, but the boy never did. You heard that it was a tragedy, that the boy had his entire life in front of him. You've been following her online. After all, there are plenty of holes in her story, but there are holes in everyone else's versions too. Now you're going to learn all sides of this story, from the people who know and love her, and from those who know her but wish they didn't, because everybody thinks they know a girl better than she knows herself. What do you think is the truth? I just think that's such an interesting description, and the way it's using social media as part of thriller, like I'm really excited to pick this up and see kind of what they do with it. And then the final physical book that I'm putting on my TBR for June is Deadly Curious by Cindy Anstey. This is coming out June 23rd. It has not been pushed back. And this just sounded really intriguing. It's a YA historical mystery. It says a twisty tale reminiscent of Jane Austen with a dash of murder. It's set in the 1800s and it follows a young woman who wants to join an elite corps of detectives even though they're all men. So this also just sounds like it's going to be really great and a whole lot of fun. Looking forward to trying that. And then basically I am super stressed out by the number of NetGalley ARCs that I have on my TBR right now. I think what happened was they just approved me for everything that I requested, and usually that doesn't happen. So now I have just like lots and lots of things that I need to read, and you know, like they're exciting things, but I don't know, guys. So I will share a few of the NetGalley ARCs that are kind of on my radar. I'm not gonna mention all of them because I don't know, we'll see what happens. So I have Sex and Vanity by Kevin Kwan, who's the author of Crazy Rich Asians. I don't actually remember the synopsis of it, but I remember it sounded much in the vein of Crazy Rich Asians in terms of just being like melodramatic and juicy, and so I think it's probably going to be a good time. I really liked that whole trilogy, so I will for sure read more from him. I also have Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. I am now wondering why I requested it as an e-arc, because if you've seen the finished book, it's like super long. And so realistically, probably what I'm gonna do is just wait till it actually comes out and get it on audio and review it that way. I do want to read it and finish the trilogy because I love it, but like, I don't know what I was thinking. I hate reading really, really long ebooks. It was probably just because I'm really excited about it, but this was not the thing to request on NetGalley, whatever. Anyway, then we have A Duke, a Lady, and a Baby by Vanessa Riley, which I'm excited for. The cover is really cute, and Vanessa Riley is one of the only Black women who writes Regency historical romance. And this one looks like it's more on the comedy spectrum of that, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. Then I have Goddess in the Machine by Laura Beth Johnson, and I gotta look up what this is actually about. I'm not sure, but I've heard people raving about it, especially the publicists. They seem to really, really love this one. Oh, right, yeah. This does sound really interesting. So it follows a girl who wakes up in a cave 1,000 years in the future, and everybody is calling her a goddess. So she had traveled across the galaxy and expected to wake up 100 years later, not 1,000, to join with her family and friends who were colonizing a planet, I guess, except it turns out now it's 1,000 years later, they're all dead, and these people think she's a deity. The premise of it just sounds super interesting, so I'm planning on picking that up. Then I have Party of Two by Jasmine Guillory. This is her next romance novel, and I have been a little hit and miss with her books, but more hit than miss, so hopefully this one will be good. I'm not sure who this one is following, but I'm gonna give it a try. I also have an e-arc of Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Barron, and this sounds really interesting. It's kind of a subversive, queer reimagining of Cinderella, or at least the world of Cinderella. It's got a love story between two girls and them fighting to take down the patriarchy in the form of the king, and they live in a world where Cinderella's story is told to girls as, I guess, a model for their behavior, something like that. It sounds like it has a lot of potential. I'm curious to see how it goes. And the last one I'm going to talk about here is Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. She wrote Wilder Girls last year, which I was not terribly interested in, just because like the body horror thing and the survival stuff was less up my alley, but this one looks really interesting. It follows a girl who doesn't know anything about her past until some clue shows up, and she goes back to the small town, but realizes maybe there was a good reason that her mom didn't tell her anything, and I don't know. I remember when I first heard the publicist pitch this one, it sounded super interesting. So hoping to read that. Hopefully that gives you guys a little taste of some of the things that are on my radar for June, things I am hoping to pick up. It's the NetGalley stuff is a lot, you guys. I'm like, oh my gosh, we'll see how it goes. I will do my best. Talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts or feelings on any of the books that I talked about today. And for your question of the day, let me know what is something that you're excited to be reading in June. Has your taste changed at all with things that are going on in the world, or as the weather is changing? Is there something that's like, I really want to read that thing? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.